Hello and welcome. My name is John Mason, and I'm sitting in for Bob Trask today. This is our 1/2 hour weekly reset where we can start each new week with stronger optimism, clear purpose, and self-confidence. These weekly messages uplift your mind and mood and give you insights into making this week better. It's so nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about something that's very important to me, which is connecting with our guidance. I think it really is relevant and useful for everyone because if we pay attention and if we're aware of what our guidance wants, sometimes it leads us into really great adventures in our life, ones that we were meant to have, that we're supposed to have, and we can enjoy having as learning opportunities. Before we begin my part of the presentation, we have a special guest, Paula Forget. Paula is the author of the book, Guided to the Higher Realms. She is going to be doing our meditation to begin the process today to get us in the mood and to help us with the reset process. So we're just going to switch around. It's a little clumsy, but we're going to switch around, and I want to introduce you to Paula Forget.
Good morning. Welcome. Oh. Well, let's start by just getting centered. So let's take a few gentle breaths and just gently breathing in and breathing out. As you breathe in, imagine that you're breathing in, that you're connecting with Source. So imagine that there's a cone of light coming from above and coming down into your body, and also encircling your whole body. So as you breathe in that beautiful divine source and that beautiful love. And as you breathe out, you're breathing out through your heart chakra. Let's begin by having gratitude. Let's be grateful that we are all together right now. As we feel this gratitude, we're preparing ourselves for a new week. So we're going to do a clearing so that we can begin the week all fresh and ready to go. So feel your whole body all at one time, from the tip of your head down to your toes. And so relax your arms and your hands. And moving down, relax your shoulders, relax your back. Going down, relax your lower back. And relax your knees. And moving down, relax down to your ankles and your feet. Let go of any tension that you have in your body. Imagine that coming from above, in that cone of light, that there's these little scintillating molecules of light coming down into your body, coming down through the top of your head. And as you're breathing it in, those little scintillating molecules of light are traveling through your bloodstream and traveling through every part of your inner body. See those little scintillating molecules of light going through your bloodstream, going into your lungs and your heart, moving down into your stomach, into your liver, into your spleen. These little scintillating molecules of light are just creating balance through all the different organs inside of your body. And now focus on your heart chakra. Imagine that inside your heart chakra, you see a beautiful lotus flower, and it's sitting on a pond. You can feel the peace as you're floating on the top of the water. And then move your attention up to your third eye chakra. And if you feel any disturbing thoughts, just let them go. We're just going to take a time out for now. We can come back to our thoughts later. And now imagine that you're looking up into the sky above the top of your head, and that you see this beautiful baby blue sky, just like a beautiful sunny day. And so move up into the sky. And now you're up into the sky. You see this beautiful baby blue sky, and you see kind of like a soft ball of light in front of you. And it's just big enough for you to go and sit inside. And so go and move into your own ball of light. And as you're sitting in there, you can look all around and you'll see that baby blue sky all around. And as you're inside your ball of light, you might see more scintillating molecules of light dancing all around you. They might be different colors. They might be like a really pale pink or a light blue, or very light green or yellow, or even really pale white, or even silver. And so breathe those scintillating molecules of light into you right now. And notice how you feel. You can feel this wonderful, peaceful feeling. And just take a moment to sit with that. Just sit with it for a moment. Feel those scintillating molecules filling the whole of your light body. The you that's sitting there. You can feel it in your hands. You can feel it all over you, all inside, just bringing your whole body back into balance. Just continue breathing very gently. Just gently breathing in and breathing out. Feeling the peace that's in your heart. And just know that you can come here anytime you like. This is your own personal ball of light, very soft ball of light. But just become very familiar with this nice feeling. And bring that feeling back with you. So now come back down. Come back down through the top of your head. And settle back down into your body. To you sitting in the room. You can feel your hands resting, maybe resting on your lap. You can feel your feet touching the ground. Just notice that nice feeling that you brought back with you. And then whenever you're ready, you can just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes and open your eyes. Mm. Ah, and now I'm going to pass you back over to John Mason for a nice thought for the week. John.
Well, thank you so much. I kind of needed that myself. I'm sitting in for Bob Trask today, and I want to give you a little bit about our history. But before I do that, I just want to thank Paula Forget. She's been a mentor of mine since I have been in the Bellingham area since 2015. She's written the book Guided to the Higher Realms, and she is a master teacher of meditation. Some of her experiences are recounted in her first book, Guided to the Higher Realms, and it really plays a role, not only in my life, but obviously in that meditation that she was just leading. Now, my other main mentor since coming to Bellingham is Bob Trask. Today, we're talking a little bit about guidance and connecting with guidance, but to give you just a little bit of perspective on what this is all about, first, let me tell you that I believe that each and every one of us is a miracle. Yes, you are a miracle. You are perfect. Even in those seemingly imperfect behaviors, there is a perfection to that. And I also believe that each and every one of us is a very important piece of the divine spirit. We're all individual, we're all unique, we all have our own way of going about doing things, but we're essential. And our job in our human manifestation is to raise our consciousness and our awareness to remember our own divinity. So I want to share a couple of stories with you from my own personal experience. One has to do with the history of how I wound up in Bellingham in 2015 and got one of the best experiences of my life, which is to begin the process of a community called Masters of the Journey. Obviously, I think Bob Trask, Paula Forget, and many others have been the very cornerstone of my evolution to start a community which believes that each and every one of us is a master. It's a miracle that we have lived as long as we have, and we've survived the experiences that we've had. And because we are here today, because you are present, and thank you for coming, somehow guidance led you to the experience of Bob Trask and to the weekly reset and to listening to the message that I offer today. I don't know why on an individual level this is important for you, but I think that there's something you might take away. And if not for yourself, then perhaps it will offer you a perspective or an experience that you can share and you can teach and you can use to support other people that you find in your life that come in, that are growing and moving towards higher consciousness, developing their awareness, and remembering their divinity. So to give you a little background about myself, I moved up to the Pacific Northwest from California in 2005. I came with my wife. She wanted to live near her good sister on Whidbey Island, and we had a house there, and things were going fairly well. She had a bout with cancer, and she passed away in January of 2012. That's not what the story is about. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, and it was, again, one of the best experiences that I have had, and it's taught me so much so that I am in a different position of empathy when I see and work and connect with other people. After 3 years on Whidbey Island without my wife, I realized that I needed to make a change, and I thought I was going to go back to California. I met up with a woman in Bellingham who was a minister, and I decided to move to Bellingham to build a ministry for her. She introduced me to Bob Trask. Obviously, I'm out of that friendship with that woman, but I have found a great friend and mentor in Bob Trask. When we were building the idea of a ministry, we came up with the idea of Masters of the Journey. I thought that I was just going to be in the background. I wasn't going to be the person in the front of the room. She went off and did other things, and then I asked my guidance, what's supposed to happen? And guidance kept saying to me in many ways, directly and indirectly, that the Masters of the Journey community was going to continue and that I might be the person standing in the front of the room. Now, I don't have a lot of religious beliefs, and I didn't have a lot of spiritual background or training. And yet, in October of 2015, we began meeting, and we've met pretty much monthly ever since. The reason why it continues is because guidance brings people together, people who have a story, people that want to build community, people that care and support each other, and they have a story to tell. If you stick around for the half hour after this meeting today, we can have a conversation about how guidance has impacted your life, some of the choices that you made, some of those feelings that came up that you acted upon. Some of the feelings have created joy and success and happiness. Sometimes you've been impulsive and followed a feeling or a thought, and it didn't seem to turn out that well. You might even judge it as negative. And yet, from each and every experience, sometimes even more so when it's been seemingly negative, we've learned from them, we've grown. Perhaps we've learned what not to do. Perhaps it's really opened doors and expanded many things for us. So I challenge you to think about the times when you had that impulse to be in a relationship, where you had that need to change jobs or careers or to go to school or to travel, and the beauty and the benefits that came to you, even with some of the hardships or challenges that you may have met along the way. The Masters of the Journey has been a very interesting process for me, and I continue to feel like guidance is there to keep me going. So where does guidance come from? And this is important for your own connecting with guidance. Does guidance an external source? Is there a puppet master pulling strings and telling us what to do and asking us to behave in certain ways? Some people believe that guidance comes from spirits or from the divine spirit or from angels or from God or from some other external source. I look for that, but my heart tells me at some other level that each one of us is already the divine spirit. And some of that stuff is just bubbling up internally. It's coming to us because of our connection with the universal divine spirit that we need to remember that we're a part of. As we reset for the week, open your heart, listen, consider that the source of this wisdom may be coming from a seemingly external spot, but maybe it's just bubbling up from stuff that you remember. So let me tell you a more recent story. Instead of 2015, I'm going to talk about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I was leading a meeting, a Zoom call for Masters of the Journey. And I said, what would the topic be? And for me, sometimes when I do that, I need to go for a walk. I need to go for a walk in the forest or in the woods. And sometimes then I can kind of let go of all of the commotion in my life and things will just sort of bubble up for me. So I'm halfway through my walk and I had asked for a message from guidance. And it became pretty clear that the topic for my conversation was going to be, what is our purpose in life? And our purpose in life, guidance told me, as it has said to me other times and before, our purpose is to love and support unconditionally. Our purpose in life is to find the ways to be of service, to be supportive to the other pilgrims that we meet along our path. And I said, that's a great message, but I've said that before. And guidance was adamant. It said, that's what you need to remind people of, because some people need to hear it more than once. Some people need the perspective coming at them from a different place. So maybe that's what you're here today to hear. The reset is that you're here to give unconditional love and support and to find ways of being of service, to share your story, to take the hands of people around you. So I'm walking out of the woods and I was rather rude and I said, okay, guidance, go ahead, do your stuff. Prove to me that you really exist, or prove to me that I can honor most completely that message that you asked me to offer. I think it was arrogant. I didn't know what to expect. And as I'm walking out of the woods, I come back to the urban area that I live within. And about 2 blocks from where I am at that moment, I said, I'm going to be crossing a busy street. And if you're real, I want you to make sure that there's no traffic and I can just walk across the street unimpeded, that there's nothing that's going to get in my way. I didn't know what to expect. I'm about 10 feet from that intersection and I look one way and there's no traffic. That's not really surprising, but it is a busy street. I look the other way and there's one car about a half a block from me. It happens to be a red Tesla. I don't know why, but I didn't think of it as a chariot of God. I didn't think it was carrying the angels. I thought it was a red Tesla. I kind of slowed down because I wanted it to drive past so I could walk across the street unimpeded. But no, that red Tesla came to a stop. It saw me. I acknowledged the driver. I walked unimpeded across that street. I said, "That's not what I expected. Thank you." But guidance wasn't done with me. I walked about 15, maybe 20 steps up the street. I thought my message was clear, but I looked down and there's a chalk drawing on the pavement. I've been on this street many times. I had never seen this. This was a chalk drawing of a tic-tac-toe image. And in that tic-tac-toe, there were 3 hearts coming from the upper left to the bottom right. 3 hearts with a line through them. A couple of X's off to the side. And written at the bottom, the message was, "Love wins." Going along with what I had just been told and the experience that I had, it was startling. It was almost like the slap. It says, "Wake up, buddy. If you pay attention and you ask, guidance presents itself." So as you do your reset for this week, I ask you to consider how you can pay attention, how you can connect with that small, simple voice within you, that very special message from the divine spirit that may be there specifically for you. How do you quiet yourself? How do you make yourself available? I don't know what to say. There are so much going on in our lives, but we don't see every color in the spectrum. We don't hear every sound in the frequency that exists around us. But somehow we have to look for those subtle changes. Perhaps it's that first feeling that comes into us before our ego and our mind starts to argue with things. And maybe get hold of that, consider that, think about that. Along the way, let me also remind you, or tell you if you haven't heard this before, that you are a miracle. You're very special. The divine spirit needs you and loves you. And each and every one of us can find that message within our hearts. We can sometimes need to remember how powerful we are. And if we can take our responsibility for the things that manifest in our lives, we can find ways of taking life experience and offering that perspective as a service to the people that we meet along the way. Thank you. Again, my name is John Mason. I'm sitting in for Bob Trask today. Thank you for joining me today. It is always an honor spending time with you. Bob asks me today, if you would please tell your friends about the weekly reset. If you enjoyed today's message, please make a donation to help keep this weekly reset coming. You will find the donate button at the bottom of bobtrask.com's website in the upper right-hand corner. And thank you for your support. Thank you for coming and spending time with us today. And I'm going to end this call by just saying, you are a blessing and you're doing wonderful things in the world. Thank you for being you.